Guys came out with a great attitude today. Again, the focus is on us. We are going to practice next 3 days: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and really focus on fundamentals. Just look at ourselves. This week's going to be about ourselves. We won't start looking at our next opponent till next week, like any other opponent. But really looking at ourselves. There's still a lot of things we got to get better at fundamentally, detail wise. We talked about the growth we've had over the past couple of weeks. Are really trying to build on that with our leadership. We got half our staff on the road recruiting all week. But a good week about us. And again, we can still be 1-0 at the end of the week, even if there's no game. That's going to be up to us and our choices and our daily actions and the way we attack each day.
Coach, different coaches handle the bye weeks differently, right? It kind of looked like a conditioning week out there for you. What do you focus on in this bye?
Yeah, and honestly, I think every year is different. You got to, where is the bye week in your season? How's your season going? What do you need? I think everything can be tailor fit. I've done it every way where we've grinded through, we've studied the next opponent, but really this week's about us. I think one comes at a good time, right at the halfway point in the season. Everybody's banged up. I think it's an opportunity for us to get healthy. Good chance for coaches to get on the road recruiting this time of year. But at the same time, the practices, if you notice, they're short. We got to get better fundamentals, details. Not as many reps, but trying to get quality reps. A lot of the young guys are getting reps as well. But we still got to stay in game condition. We still got to be ready to go next week. So the practices will be shorter and crisp, but we'll condition at the end of each practice for that reason to stay in game shape.
How good is it having a bye week right after that dominant win?
Better than the alternative, I'll tell you that. But no, it's good. We've learned a lot about ourselves each week. We're growing. We're going to grow this week. Excited about that possibility. Leadership's the focus this week, and it really had a good team meeting and conversations and lessons on leadership today, and eager to see how we attack.
Coach, if you could just sum up the first half of the season 5-1, just what's your overall thoughts on just the way the first half of the season?
It's good. I mean, there's a lot of people, 1-5 sitting here right now, and so we're definitely proud of the efforts, proud of everything we've done, learn from what we've done. We feel like we've done good, learn from things that we can definitely improve on. But like we had a conversation today, all we've proved right now, we're 5-1. We think we have a pretty good football team, but you look at our schedule, we could easily be 5-7, and that's the reality of it. All that goes into how we work at halftime here, how we prepare, but really it's a tough road ahead, and everyone in the nation's in the same boat, and there'll be, so it's going to be this time of year. It's really interesting to watch college football because a lot of it has to do with who stays healthy, who has momentum, who has confidence, who's traveling well, the mentality, the leadership, who's still getting stronger in the weight room versus, just maintaining. So there's so many things that, we're looking at our program trying to put us in a position to be able to compete here the second half.
Coach, if you can touch on the Eddie Marburger 100-yard game this past weekend, and what is it when you've seen the quarterback fight for yards, put his head down, and keep falling forward even when he's getting brought down? What sort of message does that send to the other guys on the team, knowing that, hey man, our quarterback's out there fighting for every single yard? So what is that kind of message does that send, or what does that say to the other guys up there on the offense?
It's just an example of his leadership. Same thing we talked today, and leaders being leading by example and being that example, and knowing that what we had to do to win that game in the second half. We had to run the ball. We had to chew the clock. We had to keep the defense off the field, and we had to use the quarterback. We needed to do some things for what they were getting us up front. We used the extra runner, and we knew we had to run him. He knew we had to put in his hands, and and he's a competitor and he's a winner. And I think you look at the fourth quarter, some of these games where we had to put it in his hands. And he's shown that and proven that he can handle it, but definitely earned the respect of the team, and they know that, and everyone feels confident when he's in charge and when it's in his hands at the end.
And there in the second half, really in the fourth quarter, that Houston Christian defense kind of they looked exhausted, had their hands on their knees and sucking wind and everything. So how satisfied were you with the offensive performance and really that offensive line? I know you said you wanted to hold on to the ball more, and you guys did that, and it ended up taking an effect on that defensive line there late in the game.
It's just proud of the whole team, every piece, and you look at the tiredness, of their defense, that was us in the first half because we were on the field for 20 minutes in the first half defensively. So, definitely we knew we had to flip it. We did. That was a game plan to see them come out and execute it. But, along with that, the defense had to keep doing their job, and they were playing their tails off. We knew it the first half. We knew it at halftime, and we knew if we could just keep them fresh, that they would keep doing that, and definitely did. Dominated the second half there defensively as well. Just pleased and proud of when you do something, you have a goal, and then you go out there and watch them accomplish that goal there in the second half. Again, we talked about getting to the fourth quarter, getting to the second half. Similar to Southeast, but having that confidence to go finish the game off and the confidence to put the game away. And that was their mentality at halftime. And to come out and watch them do that in the second half was extremely a proud moment.
What's been your message to the team coming off of y'all's first conference win and heading into this bye week?
Again, the focus on us. In fact, we talked about, the message we gave today was pedal downhill, and kind of like riding a bike down a hill, and things seem to be going well. It's easy to coast. It's easy to want to take your feet off the pedals and take your eyes off the prize, I guess, at the end. So, the focus for us is just, things are going smooth. Let's keep going harder. Let's go harder. It's a great week to go harder, focus harder on details. How much better can we get? Can we get better this week? We want to know at the end of this week because we're going to need to continue to be at our best to have a chance here in the second half.
Coach, I want to ask about the defense too, and last week's performance. Through 4 games, your defense only gave up 20 points at home. How do you think they responded to just coming off a loss like that at Southeastern and just playing the way they did, especially in the second half, only allowing 7 points for defense?
Yeah, I really like the way our defense from day one, what they do schematically, the mentality, the way our guys coach. Coach Gamble, the defensive staff, does a phenomenal job. They coach with energy. They coach with passion. You can see it. Those guys play with it on the field. We're not going to be ever the bigger, more dominating defense, so we've got to be active. We've got to move around, and those guys do a good job. Even going back to Southeast, I think early on it was just a faster speed. We had some miscommunications getting lined up. Things were just moving fast for us at that first time, but really once it slowed down, we matched the physicalness, we matched the speed, and then just being able to finish off some plays. So coming back, that was a focus. We knew what to expect. We knew kind of the talent level of this league now. We know the quickness of how the game's going to start, and I think they started with that quickness. They came out with the mentality that they knew, hey, we can match the speed of this game. We can match the physicalness. We just do our job, be in the right position, and good things can happen. And you saw that. And they're flying around. Still felt like we had some opportunities we missed. Again, we some things we got to clean up. Again, this week, if you watch practice out there, you notice the in 7-on-7 all the secondary head oven mitts on. So we're limiting, making sure they can't grab anything. We had some penalties that we got to get cleaned up. So finding solutions there. So they're going to have oven mitts on for the next 2 weeks to make sure they can't grab any jerseys or receivers. So again, there's some things felt like we could have had some definitely balls on the ground again that they didn't get. We felt like we had some chances to get some more interceptions, maybe some tackles for loss. So always a way to look at ourselves and focus how we can get better.
Coach, I know you guys have played some pretty physical last few games. So how well timed is this bye week in terms of getting people healthy and recovery?
It's huge. I think it came at the right time for us, and every week's different. And it goes back. I think the Southland Conference did a good job because most people are off this week or last week. So I think there's a lot of teams off. There's only 2 games, I believe, in the conference this week. So everyone's kind of getting it at the right time, which is needed. A lot of those teams, which we will soon be playing the FBS teams early in the season. So you get banged up, but definitely need the break right now. It could be a mental break too. We're not bringing them back in the afternoon. They got time to go catch up on classwork and tutors and all that type of stuff. So really, really beneficial right now to get healthy, to get refreshed, get recharged, and really look at the challenges we have here in the second half.
What have been some of the biggest learning moments, whether it was in a game or in practice, for you and your staff and you players throughout the first 6 weeks?
It's really overall everything's learning about each other, learning about the team, learning about just first you go back. We've had to learn everything since we've been here. You go back to day one and teaching the first group how to practice and how to work and how to just how to function as a team. But through this season, again, I think the growth. Just the chemistry, and that's we talk about the unity being the secret, and that's where the leadership. We work so hard daily on training the mind and developing leaders and developing the mentality, and we talk about all the stuff we do. We want to develop men, and whether we get them for 4 months or 4 years, we want to pour into these guys and teach and model the characteristics to be successful in life, not just football. But it's funny, the same characteristics will help you win football games. So really just continue to build on that. You can see the team coming closer, going all the way back to training camp, really learning about each other, and learning how to function and work together and work collectively toward the same goal. So again, pleased with the progress, and excited about what the continued growth, what that's going to look like. And again, to see each week's a growing moment, whether it was non-conference, whether it was getting on the road, whether it's winning on the road and handling adversity at Southeast, coming back off that and dominating at home, and then now just having to regroup, look at ourselves, and see how we can continue to get better. So every day is a growing experience, and every day, we're just trying to be 1-0 at the end of the day.